We've lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. You're tuned in to the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast. It is Monday night, October. What month, year is this?
It's
October. October 9th, 2023. I am your host, Bo, the Boom Operator.
I'm Slick Doggy the Grip.
And if you're just joining us for the first time, we're going to be talking to you guys about movie stuff.
Yeah.
We're two white guys with a podcast talking to you about movies, as if you don't have enough options of those on the internet. But anyway, yeah, we got a fun show for you tonight. We are back in the studio. It's October. I went and saw Haunting in Venice, the new Agatha Christie joint with Kenneth Branagh. I'm going to be talking about that later in the show. And what about you, Jake? You said you...
Yeah, I also caught a movie that's like 2 or 3 weeks old. I watched Bola Shankar on Netflix. A
Telugu movie.
Yeah.
But thanks for the 27-month sub there, Vince. Thank you for that, man. Thanks for everybody that was resubbing out in our Twitch. We do start the Twitch stream early. It's what we call our Twitch pre-show. If you guys are downloading the audio version of this podcast or viewing us on another platform, be it like YouTube or Facebook, some exclusive content that we do over there on Twitch, and we thank all of our Twitch people for joining us for that. But let's start with some news. I know you have some scribbles on your sheet, as you usually do. Let's jump into what happened in the past week.
Definitely scribbles. Man.
I can't read it from here.
I can't read it, and I wrote it, bro.
I see. What is?
You
Monk movie.
You can see the thing that I'm most excited about first. Yeah, the Monk reunion movie is going
with
to be
the Shalhoub.
Yeah, with Tony Shalhoub, and also the actors that portrayed Natalie, Randy, and Captain Stottlemyre are back. I'm pretty sure that I remembered reading that Sharona is going to be there too. All your favorite characters from Monk will be there. It's going to be released December 8th on Peacock. So I will have to start a free trial of Peacock
just to watch
the Monk movie.
Every streaming service is getting more expensive now. I think we talked about this last week. I don't know if we did or not.
It's always.
But Amazon Prime with the ads, they're like, well, we're going to start throwing you ads unless you pay extra, even more.
Another $4 a month. To get rid of ads. Remember when Prime was just to have good shipping and like.
And it's not 2 day. It's just free shipping when it gets to you. Yeah. Sometimes it's pretty cool. If you have an Amazon distribution center near you, sometimes it's fast.
You have to buy a dollar amount, and it used to be like, you got Prime? Cool, it's on the way. Also, movies coming out, old things. The Martin Scorsese concert movie for the band, The Last Waltz, is going to be back in theaters.
That's cool. Is it a Fathom event?
I don't know. I didn't see that part, but it will be back for its 45th anniversary, and it's being released November 5th. And I saw a thing that's like the trend with the, the Talking Heads movie, which has been out for 2 weeks.
I know.
At our local theater.
I have not gotten to see it yet.
With that and The Last Waltz and who knows what other concert films. Taylor Swift's concert film is like turned out to be the second best-selling movie of the year behind Barbie.
And it's not even out yet.
Yeah, more pre-sold tickets than any movie. So concert films are like the thing. So maybe we'll get like The Song Remains the Same in the theater. That would be badass.
That would be fun.
Maybe they'll put The Wall in the theater, and you don't want to go in there.
Moonwalker?
Just get, dude. Yeah. See Michael Jackson turn into the claymation bunny on the motorcycle.
Yeah. Dude, Michael Jackson Moonwalker. I saw that at Disney when I was a kid. Like,
Isn't Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner in that music video or something like that? Because when he's on the motorcycle and transforms into like the biker bunny, there's weird
Annie, are
things.
you okay? Are you okay, Annie? And he's like trying to rescue Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you read about speaking of streaming and all this kind of stuff, that, Ridley Scott's Napoleon movie that's coming out? Everybody's like, oh, it's coming out. It's going to be a theatrical release. But then it's going to hit Apple TV Plus, and it will be the director's cut, which is 4 hours long, with an intermission, I think, or just a pause button, But 4 hours, whoa! But getting an Apple Plus exclusive, I think maybe the theatrical one's going to be just around 3.
I mean, how much of his life are they trying to cover, right? Because 4 hours, I mean,
I guess.
he's one of the biggest, most impactful figures in all of history ever. So 4 hours seems short, maybe.
Yeah, well, for real, honestly. Like, I learned so much French from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Napoleon. I was like, merde, and
Yeah.
la glace.
Piggy.
Yeah. And
That's-
la glace. And they're like, oh, nom, nom, nom. And he, like, smacks the spoon.
Yeah, that was the French I learned from Napoleon and Bill and Ted. Oh!
Just, oh.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to this Napoleon film. I think it's going to be really good. Let's see. What else do you have on your scribble pad?
Well, something far from history, but instead super futuristic. CD Projekt Red, which just laid off like 70 employees, and the gaming world is pissed at them. They're like, yeah, Cyberpunk update and expansion. Hey, why are you getting rid of all those people? Well, they just announced and confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 will have a live-action movie adaptation.
Oh, my
to
goodness.
continue its media popularity, because the Edge Runners anime was pretty sick. Did you watch it?
I did not.
It's pretty good, and it has.
I just have no context of Cyberpunk.
You don't have to watch that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you totally have context of Cyberpunk.
I know it's a game.
You ever watch Blade Runner?
Well, yeah.
It's Blade Runner, bro. Just without replicants.
But, I mean, really?
Yeah, it's like Blade Runner, but more like people have more cyborg parts.
Is it more Johnny Mnemonic than Blade Runner?
No.
Do they carry things in their brain?
I mean, they can have the back of their head or the front of their face turned into a machine, and they can stick like cards and stuff in there.
Well, there you go.
There's like people will record their lives or like their actions, and sometimes that turns into like smut or snuff or whatever,
As it would always.
And that's like the brain dances, and that's like a big thing that people buy so that they can live through someone else's eyes.
Oh, so like,
and like
Strange Days?
they can feel them get stabbed, or they can feel them.
Oh, that's totally Strange Days.
Get their dingus touched or whatever.
Whoa.
Like future stuff. But there's going to be a live action adaptation of that. That can be interesting. We'll see how that goes. I mean, there's already Blade Runner and the sequel. And
Okay, wait. James over on Facebook, he comments. He said Studio Trigger is making an adult Powerpuff Girls knockoff.
I don't like this.
What do you
Mojo
mean?
Jojo?
What do
Please
you
don't.
mean, adult Powerpuff Girls? Because that's just, it's a little scandalous. Are they just adults, or is it like adult? Like, I don't. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, there could be some weird stuff with Fuzzy Lumpkins and Mojo Jojo.
I don't
want to
see any Fuzzy Lumpkins.
And the Rowdy Rough Boys and Princess.
The Rowdy
Dude, I
Rough.
fucking love Powerpuff Girls.
The
bro.
Rowdy Rough Boys.
Yeah,
I don't
they were
wanna
the best.
I don't want to see an adult version of Rowdy Rough Boys
Did you
with the
ever watch
Powerpuff
Powerpuff
Girls.
Girls?
Yes.
Dude, everything Hanna-Barbera.
Mojo Jojo is awesome. Okay, so yeah, that's scary. I mean, there's a lot of innuendos to be made. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like it. They already did that one update of Powerpuff Girls, and I don't know that anyone cared about it. Original Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, Johnny
Dexter's
Bravo, all of that. When Cartoon Network was something, and Hanna-Barbera was making like really kick-ass cartoons.
Did you ever watch the Blues Imaginary Friends or whatever that show was called? What was the name of that show?
Oh, the
that orphanage
Friends.
for
House, right?
House of Imaginary Orphans. Or,
I watched a little bit of
and
it.
the main one was Blue. And
Yeah, I never liked that.
I
show.
liked that show. I thought it was good.
I like the fan
Yeah,
theories
it's called
after the fact.
Blue's House of Imaginary Friends.
Okay, I had it. I nailed it.
I don't think that is that the real title. I feel like
Foster's.
Foster's Home for
Oh,
Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
You're right,
There
sorry.
it is. No, I didn't like that show so much, but I like the fan theory that the girl and the grandma, like one of them is the other one's imaginary friend, and that's why they dress exactly the same and have the same hairdo and all that
Okay.
stuff. So I think it's like the old lady. Her imaginary friend is her granddaughter or whatever that takes care of all the other imaginary friends, and that's how they run the thing. That's kind of a cool
fan
thing.
theory. And Adult Swim, I mean, I got to throw this one out here. I mean, it wasn't the Hanna-Barbera era, but Venture Brothers. Like, Venture Brothers was
Have
absolutely
you watched that movie yet?
That's why I was going to bring it up. I still haven't watched the new movie, and I need to watch it because I don't know where it's streaming. I need to just buy it on Amazon and give Jackson Public and crew money.
I imagine it's probably on HBO.
I don't have that one, but I think I'll just give money. I'll pay to watch it because the Venture
What's
Brothers.
it called?
Venture Brothers. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, because HBO has all the Cartoon Network
Brock
stuff.
Sampson.
Yeah, Brock's cool. Anything Patrick Warburton does is cool.
Well, in 24 was like one of the best story arcs of that whole show.
Is that the fat butterfly dude?
The butterfly henchman who was like fat and pointless and worthless, and then his best friend dies, and he's haunted by, I think it was like number 9 or whatever. I can't remember, but 24.
So the thing about that though,
And then he became a badass by the end of it.
His whole story arc is a ripoff from Deadpool comics, though.
Basically, and I
With
think that's the point.
Oh, okay.
It's also on HBO Max.
Okay,
See, that's what exactly what I
Sorry,
said.
Max.
just Max.
Oh, I guess I said HBO, but now it's Max. I forgot. You're right.
Even I said
The Cinemax is Cinemax even a thing?
Yeah, it's combined
a
with
plus.
HBO.
So it's just
an-
Max.
It's an add-on, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's an add-on on something.
Because Cinemax, like back in the day, Cinemax is where you saw titties, right?
What?
Wow.
It's true.
You would know that.
It's
You
true.
would know that.
Like, and when
Scrambled TV guy over
hey
here.
man, that's how I learned to solder. And I was gonna
Just like the dude in that new
I'm
Transformers
just
movie.
trying to build a cable descrambler.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cinemax, like the trifecta of premium channels back in the day was HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax. Yes, as James says, it's Skinemax.
Then the stars came in, and they're like, "We're just gonna show."
But
you
that
movies."
was the one that always had like the French softcore porn. There was the Red Shoe Diaries, which you'd
should
like
we
watch.
watching, Bo?
You'd watch a whole episode of Red Shoe Diaries. It was kind of like, and you'd never see one boobie. And you're like, what? I just wasted 45 minutes of like crappy plot exposition. Kind of like, what was it? USA. They had that show Silk Stockings, and it was like Emmanuel. Thank you, Vince, on Twitch. But Silk Stockings on USA. It was like Miami Vice, but more hookers, right? And
This is what life was like before the internet. you
yeah,
guys.
you're just like, yo. And the intro was always like neon. It was like, oh, there's someone taking off like, a pantyhose into like a stiletto boot, and it'd be like, wow. And it was actually, we're going to watch the opening to Silk Stockings.
I will tell you something.
Yeah.
Scrambled softcore pay channel stuff
Dude.
had the best like soundtracks because
I'm
they had
telling you.
killer horn sections.
Yeah, look at this.
So when you were flipping the channels, you're like, oh, that song bops.
Look at this. So, like, as a kid, you're like, there's probably going to be some titties on this show,
This
right?
looks like the opening to Thunder in
No,
Paradise.
wait. It's right there.
There you go. Yeah, there's your
And you're like,
male T-Taz.
but it was so sexy. And like the lady next to the Lamborghini, and there's this pantyhose. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, right there, you're like butt cheek, and then Silk Stockings in stereo. But
This
yeah,
is so 90s.
like I'm telling you, and then the dude with like the sniper. I don't remember ever seeing a sniper, but starring Rob Estes.
I like how that dude had those binoculars like
And
all
Mitzi
the way
Capture.
apart.
Dude, you totally thought you were gonna see some boobies on this. You never saw boobies. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. And that butt. Ah! It's like In the Heat of the Night, but sexier. And without
I mean,
like,
this song rules.
dude, doesn't it? And then the stiletto at the end. Yeah. I mean, dude, Hell yeah. Silk stockings. And then like USA Up All Night, you were just guaranteed. And they'd play these like smutty B movies, but then they cut out, like they get you right up to the point where you're gonna totally see an exposed boob, and then it's like cut to commercial, and you're like, come on, Gilbert Godfrey, like taking that away from me.
See, you would love brain dances in Cyberpunk, bro. But you know what? Going a world away from Cyberpunk, you know what else? There was a teaser trailer released for Kevin Costner's new 2-part Western epic.
I think I was having a lot more fun talking about like 90s.
Whoa,
movies.
have you ever seen Costner Westerns, dude? They're so good. Like Open Range.
Yeah.
That movie's badass. Anyhow, next year, June and August are going to be the releases of Horizon: An American Saga. It looks cool from the 3 seconds of actual stuff you get to see. But I like Costner Westerns, so I'm super stoked about that. Also, there was a new Saban Films trailer that came out called Kane.
Creator of Power Rangers?
Not creator, purchaser.
Purchaser?
Of the rights to Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Power Rangers was a Japanese TV show.
Saban's Power Rangers.
Saban is not Japanese. Saban is the
He's a
guy.
Middle Eastern guy, right?
Yeah. But it looks cool. It's like this Australian mafia dude, but he's like a Mr. or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type thing, and starts having these split personalities and it like messing up all these other gangsters, and it just looks ridiculous and fun, kind of a thing. And then also sad news in the world of Netflix and wrestling intersection.
Oh.
The Hulk Hogan
I was worried
movie,
for a second.
The Chris Hemsworth Hulk Hogan movie. It turns out Netflix has messed around too long, and they lost their life rights to Hulk Hogan.
What?
Yeah. So right now that movie doesn't look like it's going anywhere, which was a bummer, because when they were posting those pictures of like on set of like Thor Love and Thunder, where Chris Hemsworth, it was just like jacked af and everything, everyone's like, dude, yes, like we see it now, like he could be the Hulkster possibly. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see where that goes, if Netflix can reobtain the rights to portray Hogan,
The
in
Hulkamania
film.
brother.
Yeah,
Give us a brother.
brother.
Bro, I have watched you brother so hard in the wild, and then
What do you mean, brother? Is it like
there you
something
go.
like that?
That's what we were looking
Well,
for.
you know something, dude. When I was hanging and banging on my Harley, heading up to the mountain, all that kind of stuff.
That's exactly what I was talking
It's been a
about.
long time since I've done promos, man. You remember back when like I was just full of promos?
Oh yeah, all the time. You walk in the bar and it's just like promo after promo. You're throwing in some what's the guy that you like with the hair, and he's kind of fat. No, I'm just
Dusty Rhodes.
yeah, Dusty Rhodes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'd always throw out Dusty Rhodes promos.
Yeah, I got Dusty Rhodes and Superstar Billy Graham and Ric Flair and Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. Sometimes a little bit of Rick Rude.
I could only do Macho Man
Yeah.
or the Undertaker. I could always do a good Undertaker. Just peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mean. Mark.
Wrestling's so much fun. I hope that they make a cool Hulk Hogan movie. I love wrestling, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, in February, Jimmy Hart is going to be at a
Jimmy Hart's still alive?
semi-local wrestling thing. Yeah.
Is he like 100?
No.
Like how old is Jimmy Hart?
He's probably
He's gonna be like Jimmy Hart failure pretty soon.
he's probably in his 40s and the 80s. I mean, he's probably 70 something.
Yeah. Jimmy Hart palpitations.
He's still out there screaming
Emperor
around
palpitation.
crazy jackets. How old?
Yeah. Just googling that one on the old cell phone. What do we got?
Oh yeah, I need to
There
know.
it goes. What?
He's 79 years old.
Damn.
And he'll still be out there in crazy jackets doing high-pitched laughs, yelling on a megaphone, upsetting everybody.
It's what I hoped. If I'm alive at 79, that's what I'll be doing. Wearing crazy jackets and yelling on a megaphone. And everybody will be like, all right, let's get you to your walker, granddad. So, yeah. Do you have any other news before we move on to what's coming out this weekend? Because that's pretty lackluster, I'll tell you right now.
I think, Snow White animation, the original movie, is getting a Disney Plus glow up.
Is that so they can hold on to the rights for it before it turns into public domain?
Maybe. On the 16th of this month, it will have its 4K update released on Disney Plus to celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary. That movie came out in 1937.
Damn.
And now they're going to turn it into 4K. So there's a lot of debate amongst, cinephiles and fans of things, whether that's
some of those
the
you
right
don't
move
need to be in 4K.
And also,
Dina on Twitch says their 4K updates are pretty garbage.
yeah. And the thing about it too is that Disney doesn't just do like a smooth update like the T2 release, like the 3D 4K T2 or
3D 4K T2.
the TTOS, the triple TTOS.
3D 4K T2 TTOS from Total Recall.
Yeah, Total Recall. The Total Recall 4K update, I watched it in the theater. It was sick. It was done so well. But that was because all they did was they're like, we want the movie to be more true to what it looked like on the film before it was converted and all this stuff.
Because sometimes it just gets too crisp, too clean, and just looks scammy. You can't. I was watching what was I think Escape from New York, and someone had an upconvert, motion blur, 4K, whatever, and it just looked stupid.
Motion blur sucks. I hate it so much. I was over at my brother's house the other day, and he's watching Top Gun Maverick for the 50th time. And I was like, dude, why do you have motion blur on? What's wrong with your frame rate?
So bad.
And he's like, what? It's something the people that get used to it. And I'm like, I just look at their TV and
it's like smokers,
sick.
Right? They're smoking all the time. You walk in their house and you're like, they're like, what? It doesn't smell bad in here. And I'm like, yeah, it smells bad in here. That's the same instinctual gut-wrenching reaction I have walking into a smoker's house that I have when I walk into a person's house that has motion blur on. I'm like,
yeah, it straight up makes me sick.
God, I can't even look at it.
My eyeballs are just smoke.
They're burning. Give me, where's the remote? Oh, come on.
Yeah, Bolero of Blood or crazy movies. Yeah, just
or the dude, the dude when he looks at the Holy Grail too long, or no, the Ark of the Covenant too long. He's like,
yeah. Or the goblin in Ernest Scared Stupid when he gets sprayed with titty milk, and Eartha Kitt's eat the titty milk, eat it, and the goblin's like, yeah, that's me at that kind of thing. Hey, but you know what? Talking about
speaking of titty milk,
eat a bumper sandwich, booger lips. The talking Total Recall, Paul Verhoeven. Something else in semi-movie related.
No Paul Verhoeven movie should ever be in 4K.
Dude, Total Recall was, and it was
That's
sick.
Tasteful.
It was sick. Anyhow,
it's just so delicate.
RoboCop video game is finally, it's set.
The new one?
It's happening. Pre-orders are available.
Because the arcade RoboCop is one of the hardest games in arcade history.
Yeah, because the guns never shoot where you want them to shoot.
Yeah. Because you're on a 45-degree axis. It's either this angle, or that angle.
Yeah, but the new RoboCop first-person shooter game, there's gameplay footage out there.
Just nothing but blowing off wieners.
Yeah. It looks so cool. You get to be Alex Murphy. Don't move, creep. And then you just blast their cock right off. and then you just
smite it.
Yeah, doing the RoboCop thing. Yeah.
I have
but it plays the music. It's bum 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 bum, and you're just blasting gang members' wee-wees right off
into oblivion.
Dude,
and toxic mutants that come out and be like, "Oh, kill me!"
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope that in that game there's an achievement for just blasting some dude's dingus clean off, with your leg pistol.
Unlock an Xbox achievement. 1% of people have blasted these meanie wieners off.
Skin that hog leg, and you just blast his dick right off. That's what you get, rapist. And then you just put the shit away, and you're RoboCopping, and then you data spike people in the face.
The data spike in the face. If that needs to be a weapon.
Dude, I didn't see it in the footage, but it has to be like the melee attack as you just like data spike someone to death. If you can't tell, I'm mad jazzed about this. I fucking love RoboCop. I've watched all of them. I had every toy. Like
Velvet Sin on Twitch says they better have DLC for $1.
Oh, dude, I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. That's the best. I need to be that guy for Halloween.
Oh my god.
Just like I'll shave my
Oh
chin beard and just have my mustache, and I'll get 2 girls to have titties on me all the time. I'm like, I'll buy that for $1.
That's gonna be the hardest part of that costume.
No, dude.
Yes, please be this guy. Please be this guy for Halloween. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally see Jake as this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, hang on.
Buy that for $1.
That's got to be you.
Yeah, that'd be so much fun.
We just got to find those titty girls. I don't know how to.
Chill.
Well, I mean, that's part of the costume.
Have you not ever seen RoboCop?
Yes, she's seen RoboCop.
Okay, that's a big part of it. Like when they get those big murder like sniper guns that they stole from the army, and they're just blowing up everything, and there's the riots in the street. He's like sitting there and he's watching that, and he's like, "I buy that for $1." And he's like, "That's hilarious, dude!" Like the whole thing.
Oh man, that's your costume, dude. That would be an easy costume.
Yeah, not as fun as like being a Klingon or an Astartes though.
Yeah, but every time you have one of those like heavy like themed costumes, you're like, yeah, this is gonna be badass. I'm gonna love it. And then it's Halloween. You're like, oh, I didn't get around to getting all the insane amounts of supplies to get this costume together, so I'm not gonna do it at all.
Because all the costumes I want are like $1,000.
Right, and you never do it. But this one,
I never have $1,000.
It's just like get the glasses, put the suit on, and buy that for $1, and like boom. Who was that guy you at that one party? You had the chili dog and the sweater, like.
I hate that picture that I'm holding food.
But what character were you?
Ed Bassmaster.
Okay, Ed Bassmaster. Yeah. But yeah, I mean you threw that one together pretty quick. Worked out pretty
I
well.
had someone helping me.
Well, it was a sweater.
Yeah, she bought me the sweater.
Okay.
I couldn't find one.
John Cougar Mellencamp. No, I don't know about that one. Velvet Santa.
Anyhow.
Okay, what else were we talking about? We're talking about movies that are coming out this weekend. It's the Taylor Swift movie. We've already been talking about this for a while. It's one of the most pre-sold movies this year. It's easily going down as one of the most probably what's financially successful music video movie ever, and it hasn't even come out yet, and that's just on pre-sales. I don't have a lot to say about it other than it's coming out. I'm not going to watch it because I don't know if I could physically sit through.
It's just concert. It's a concert.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like there are very few concerts that I would just sit through and watch on. Like there's something about a concert being there. Like if someone said I had free tickets to Taylor Swift, you want to go? I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll go see that. I mean, it's going to be a spectacle. You're there. There's all the people around and the lights, and the music's big. You can feel it.
I think it's a cool idea for people that can't afford the like $5,000 that a ticket for one of those shows costs, and you'll have the best seat possible because you'll be in the air. You'll be.
Yeah, but it's different
right
than being
on
there,
the stage.
though, you know? I mean, so, okay, it's the same argument that I would have as, like, you know, I paid for the Dubai Kiss concert,
I was there.
right? And we sat there, and we watched it, and it was awesome.
You've still never gotten your stuff.
I never did.
Call Gene Simmons.
All right. Okay, Google, call Gene Simmons. And it doesn't know his number. But, you know, we're fans, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't invite a person that's not a fan to go see that show at my house. Like, it's like, okay, I know that there's a lot of Swifties out there, but enough to be a theatrical release, like maybe a pay-per-view or something, but theatrical release, but people are going to pay for it, and people are going to go see it. And I just don't understand the appeal if you're not like a big Taylor Swift fan. You know, but I don't know.
Even if you are, that's not the kind of thing that like that you see released on like, you know, concert. Like the concert things that I have is like I own a copy of the Led Zeppelin one that I knew the name of at the beginning of
Wall?
the show and don't remember. No, that's Pink
No,
Floyd.
that's Pink Floyd.
That one's music videos. That one's like a movie. Song Remains the Same, which is a lot of concert footage with movie stuff thrown into it. I have like Manowar concerts on DVD. What else? There's like it's like big heavy metal stuff, like things that like warrant like.
Well, you know, as
Put this
they're
on.
saying in the comments, you know, people are going to dress up and do the thing, and like it's a whole community event. Like, what do you dress up as at a Taylor? Like,
Put on your concert shirt to
inform
go to like the
me,
movie.
because I'm ignorant to this. Like, what is a Taylor Swift costume? Like dressing up, like okay, you're so like I get it. Like going back to Kiss, if we're dressing up for Kiss, we're gonna paint our faces. We're gonna do the thing. There's a thing that we can do. Like, is everybody gonna be wearing blonde wigs and like
Or
making their boyfriend wear an NFL jersey? Like,
Do you
what's
empty the vacuum bag on top of yourself so you're covered in dust, and everyone's like, "Why are you so dirty?" And you go, "Shake it off."
See, that's a good one. Dina says no. You dress up in your sparkles. Like, okay. Like, is that like a thing though? Sparkly fringe outfits, like.
It is a thing.
But that's like,
It's the Taylor Swift thing.
it's not really that cool. Like, it doesn't.
No, because they're. Sorry, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
Hey, producer over there coming in with the heat.
I don't give a fuck about Taylor Swift.
So you're just all dressing
was
up
obvious.
in dresses that she's worn? Is that what I'm
yeah,
getting?
because I want to look like Taylor Swift.
You couldn't. Movie Albert on Twitch comes in and says you couldn't pay me to see the Taylor Swift movie. I agree.
Why do you want to look like Taylor Swift?
I don't know. Like,
Have you ever like looked?
would
at
that
her
be like,
face?
what's the dude? What's the blurred lines? What was that guy? And he wore like the Beetlejuice suit.
Oh,
Thick?
Robin Thicke.
Yeah, he's Alan Thicke's son.
Yeah.
Growing Pains. Growing Pains. is
So,
good.
like, I mean, if you're seeing him in concert and you dress in the Beetlejuice suit, like, oh, we're dressing up. Like, I just think that's. I mean, like, at least if you're gonna go see like My Chemical Romance or like Dashboard Confessional, you can like do this and put on some like eyeshadow and be like, you know, and like have the whole deal, like be emo because that's a scene. But I don't know the Taylor
believe me,
Swift.
Taylor Swift is a scene.
That's so freaking weird.
Hey, so something that's actually kind of cool and fun. If you live here locally with us, the Symphony of Northwest Arkansas has announced more Star Wars
It
concert
has
dates.
because it was awesome and we went.
I'm mad that I didn't go.
Vince on Twitch says, Bo, he's come to learn that everything isn't for everyone. Let them have it. I understand
You're
this.
right.
I get that. I want to understand it. Like I can know that, you know, there are things that people like that I don't like, and I just want to understand the appeal. Like what differentiates this from, you know, I would argue that, say, like Rihanna or Beyonce would be more dress-upable than Taylor Swift, right? Like just from, if we're just looking at a purely entertainment standpoint, because Taylor Swift just dresses like a girl, you know. That's like, she's just like a blonde girl, a pretty blonde
They have
girl.
a museum of
She's not
clothes
pretty,
that she's
dude. I'm
worn
telling you, her
to
face
her
is like-
concerts.
That's what I don't understand. Like,
Have you
because her
ever looked-
concerts, like, I get Elton John, like, had some outfits. Like,
Yeah.
Liberace had some outfits. Elvis had some outfits. Tina Turner had some outfits. Like, but I just, everything that I've ever seen of Taylor Swift,
Keep on twinning.
Like
Brown,
Lady
maybe
Gaga.
keep on
Lady
Yeah.
freaking God, that's the example right there. Those are some outfits. Like, Taylor Swift just wearing like a cocktail dress.
Dude. I really
She's got
hope that
boots.
somebody went to a Tina Turner concert in her Mad Max costume. Like, that would have
with the
been
buns?
cool. Yeah.
Who rules Bartertown?
With like the metal buns and the big hair and the just like, yeah, who run Bartertown attitude. That would have been cool.
Okay, well, the different eras on this tour. All right, I'm going to look into it. Just doesn't make any sense to me yet. Anyway, that's what's coming out in movies this weekend.
That's it.
That's it, man.
I'll try to find a fun Indian movie for you guys.
I mean,
then.
The Mission also is coming out. It's a documentary,
It looks like there is an Indian movie.
and there is an Indian movie, Bhagwan Baros, coming out. We'll probably get it here since we seem to get all of these.
We had
these
4
films.
this past weekend. One of them was like a female comedy, and the trailer was nothing but them talking about hitting the big O and not knowing who gave it to them because they got too messed up on alcohol and drugs the night before. It looked very uninteresting to me because it seemed like 2 hours of Indian Amy Schumer. There was a movie that I almost went to watch, but it seemed like it was going to be crazy boring about like some engineer that helped rescue these guys that got trapped in a mine. Like it looked like an incredibly good movie, but also like I would have been bored and I would have fallen asleep in the theater for sure. There was another one that there weren't subtitles on the trailer, so I don't know what it was about, but it looked okay. And then there was like just like a slice of life movie, but with some comedy and singing and romance thrown in. So just like an Indian movie about nothing. That one was probably the one I was leaning towards, but there was only like one showing early in the day, and I missed it. So
I'll probably get this one.
I will find a cool Indian movie for you guys, since Taste Way is the only thing we got going on, and I don't know one damn thing about Taylor Swift.
Well, one thing that is still in theaters, possibly for one more week, that I saw that we're going to talk about is A Haunting in Venice. We'll go ahead and start this review of this movie because it is new and it is in theaters. I'm a few weeks behind on it. I'm finally got to watch it. So let's talk about it. Haunting in Venice, of course, from director Kenneth Branagh, written by Michael Green and Agatha Christie, with Agatha Christie coming in to
Agatha Christie's ghost came.
Change that line. But it's starring Michelle Yeoh, Kenneth Branagh, Tina Fey having a big part in here, and some other folks. But primarily, Kelly Riley is in this one as well.
The chick from Yellowstone?
Yes. This movie, taking place in the Hercule Poirot saga that is now a trilogy. I think this is the end of this trilogy that they've been doing. It started back in 2017 with Murder on the Orient Express, followed by the 2022 Death on the Nile. This one coming out.
Is it really that many years between the two?
Yeah, and then Haunting in Venice came out like real quick afterwards. But this movie, I think it had a very big marketing problem because they were kind of marketing it as like a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about that.
And it wasn't. It was a whodunit. And as Movie Albert said on Twitch, he said he loved Haunting in Venice. So did I.
Was it full of jump scares like the trailer made it look?
No. It had a lot of like...
It was just loud noises.
Yeah, it had a lot of hokey things where like Perot's walking up and like, he trips on a bottle and it's like loud. And you're like, oh, this should have been because it was giving that edge to they're all like wound up, but... And things that go bump in the night like startle them as characters, but it really didn't startle you as an audience member.
There was one jump scare, but you could see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. That whole trailer was
Yes.
nothing but like ghost jump scare.
But the interesting thing is all of those scenes that you talk about were set up really to spook the characters in the movie, and we were watching them get spooked by kind of an accidental jump scare, like a bottle falling because a rodent knocked it over and they thought it was going to be a ghost and things like that were set up.
They were all Shaggy and a Scooby-Doo.
Basically.
Exactly. And this one, it deals with a Hercule Poirot that's kind of secluded himself from the public eye. He's kind of semi-retired, and he gets dragged back into one more mystery.
That's how the last movie worked.
Right, exactly. And
he was there for the wedding, and then
got
Gal
roped in.
Gadot decided to get murdered.
And this one, Tina Fey's character tried to rope him back into one more mystery. And of course, spoiler alert, because it's it's Hercule. There are no ghosts in this movie. It's not. It's the whodunit. Like that is what makes these movies fun. It's not, is there a monster? There's a reveal of a monster. It's him trying to figure out, what happened, and it's never super like, MacGuffin-y at the end. It's explanations for all these things, and you're just fascinated at Hercule like picking up on all the clues that you could have picked up along the way as well, and it makes it fun.
Don't give it away or say anything, but before I go watch this movie, I'm gonna say it was Michelle Yeoh, because when she's evil, she's really good at being evil. Like, did you watch Crazy Rich Asians? She was like the meanest woman in the world.
It's because Michelle Yeoh is one of the most talented women in Hollywood. Like, she's so incredible.
And you ever see that James Bond she's in?
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
she's
badass.
transformative in every role that she is in, and she's just absolutely fun to watch. But this movie had a couple of really interesting, like Jude Hill, who played the child Leopold.
Up and comer.
He was an up and comer. Really, really fun to watch on screen. And if you're into this kind of stuff, the dialogue's a little dated because I don't know, it's World War II, and the costumes are fun, the setting is fun. Tina Fey was the only person that kind of pulled me out of it just a little bit, because Tina Fey, she's still very much Tina Fey for me, like that SNL, like heavy-handed comedy Tina Fey. She's an amazing writer. I loved her in Only Murders in the Building, but that's she's kind of typecast that way for me. But other than that, like, I really loved, like, Movie Albert on Twitch said he loved the atmosphere of it. I thought it was a great movie for Halloween, for people that don't like horror movies, but still like kind of spooky, atmospheric, October movies. This is a great October movie. Kind of like Clue. It's got mystery, it's got murder, it's got all this stuff, but it's not scary.
You know what else? Strange Brew.
Strange Brew.
It's a ghost story. It has magic and ghost and murder and mystery.
But it's not scary.
But maybe
for
Brewmaster
you.
Smith, man.
But anyway, this movie I thought was a fine example of how talented that Kenneth Branagh is. Ridley Scott was a producer on this as well. It was just shot beautifully. It was Venice is also just a wonderful backdrop for anything. It was just a really fun movie to watch in a theater in October. I think that this is the kind of movie that you'd want to go see in a theater in spooky season. Honestly, this would also be a fun one to have if you're just like at home and want to eat popcorn and it's starting to get scary outside, but you don't want to watch someone's body get ripped open. You know what I mean? So the rankings. If we're ranking the three, Vince asks on Twitch, I would say I liked Murder on the Orient Express first, then Haunting in Venice, and then Death on the Nile.
Oh.
And the reason is, and I felt like, the Death on the Nile, while still being isolated and somewhat claustrophobic, which most of these mysteries are, they have to isolate and find out who did it usually. So on Murder Express, you're on the train, a lot of darkness, a lot of seclusion, a lot of isolation, the different cabs, the different people. And then Haunting of Venice, you're trapped in this kind of spooky house. It's mostly night, a lot of candles, blah, blah, blah. But with Death on the Nile, they're like going on a riverboat. They're sitting out there. There's outsides out there. They take that one excursion to the pyramids. It's like very open and it didn't feel very murdery. It didn't feel very mysterious. So yeah, that's how I would
she doesn't get killed until like halfway through the movie or a little longer. Because they got to be like, hey, look at that. There's thousands of years of ancient stuff. Let's go be white people and mess it up some. And they're like, yeah, let's go.
No, I really enjoyed Orient Express, and I enjoyed Haunting in Venice quite a bit. I mean, I like the character Hercule Poirot kind of anyway, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think Kenneth Branagh, he's my favorite iteration of Hercule Poirot. And if these movies they're not for everybody, I think that you kind of have to be in the right mood for this, and I don't know.
I want a Poirot and the dude from the Knives Out. I want the two. I want a crossover with the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I think that's he is very much modeled off of Hercule Poirot.
Yeah.
And I think that was a way of getting that character a little bit more appealing to a younger audience, because Hercule Poirot, it's World War II, it's old people stuff. Like, a lot of young people are gonna be like, "This is boring," and not like into it, even though it's just it's fun. What was it? And there was another movie that we watched recently, a lot of Agatha Christie. There was the one with Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan I mentioned last week. I can't remember, something about a bird something. I can't remember, whatever. But Vince said he liked Orient Express, but he's a Christie head.
Well,
Yeah, Orient Express is great.
James said that the movies look like bad, and worse.
No,
I think you're wrong because
good.
Murder on the Orient Express is actually very, very good movie.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think that this was better than the original Murder on the Express, the newer one. I enjoyed it a lot more.
New one's pretty good. Yeah.
Anyway, it's in theaters right now. Probably only be out there for another week or so. You can check it out if you want to. Again, not necessarily for everyone. If you like Agatha Christie, if you like that kind of stuff, I strongly urge you to check it out. If you're not really into whodunits, then maybe if you're into more of like, who done it and they're just trying to catch him the whole time, like slasher movies, you will hate this movie. You will absolutely be bored out of your mind, because it's just when you find out who done it at the end, it's there's no there's no any of that until the end. You're like, oh, it was her.
I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for your mustachio detective.
See how they run, Vince. Thank you on Twitch. That was the other Agatha Christie movie that came out recently that we'll talk. Dina says it'll hit streaming around Christmas, which might be kind of fun because Christmas is a good time for spooky stories too. True. So check it out on streaming if you want to, or see it in the theater. Give it money. Support it, because then we might get more movies like this that aren't stupid Marvel movies. Okay, well, yeah, that was the only movie I saw. You saw Netflix?
Yeah, I watched an Indian movie that we unfortunately did not get in theaters that I'm aware of. It was a Telugu movie that we didn't get here, but was released on Netflix. And Netflix does have like a hot deal with a lot of Indian cinema to get new releases published overseas with Netflix and things like that. So I watched Bola Shankar, which is about the character Bolan Shankar. But the movie, it's a guy and his sister move to Calcutta, right? And they're Telugu. They're moving to Calcutta with the Bengali people and all this or whatever. And, they're very nice. They're very respectful. The girl is going to college for art. She's this very talented artist. And he's like this brother, and she's his world because they don't have any other family. And so he has his friends help him. And by day, he gets a job as a taxi driver so that he can pay for her education in their home. And then it turns out at nighttime, he's fighting human traffickers and just beating the shit out of them.
So it's like that movie that all those human traffickers funded in theaters recently?
Yeah, except not. Because this is like, Shankar is just not having it. It's a lot of fun. It's a badass action movie. It's super cool. Like, movie about family and what it means to be a family and how you go about discovering the people that are your family, because where's a Corona when you need one, kind of a thing. But
Did they drink Coronas?
No.
Okay.
No.
And it wasn't about family.
But it has all of like the great hallmarks of Indian movies. There's action, there's comedy, a little bit of romance here and there. But I liked it, man. It's on Netflix. It's an easy one just to pick up and watch anytime you want to. There's a good twist, which I'm trying so hard not to give away accidentally.
For all the people that are about to go see it in theaters right now.
No, Netflix. Yeah.
Okay.
But I loved it, man. I had a great time with it. And then I started watching another one too, another Telugu movie that's a recent ad on Netflix. And it's all the same things, just tons of action. But Bola Shankar was, it's one of those things, if you're trying to discover new things to watch, if you're like me, where you get on Netflix and your list is like 5,000 deep, and you just scroll through it.
Screw my list. I'm gonna try something new.
Well, yeah, and you're like, man, there's nothing here I want to watch right now. Try putting on something different. Watch like Bola Shankar. It's not gonna be something where there's horrific gore or things that are gonna trigger you super hard, or something with a bunch of jump scares that's just going to make you not be able to sleep at night.
It's just something to watch.
No, it's a fantastically entertaining, very well done movie that you get everything out of. I liked it,
except for those things that you said weren't in it.
Jump scares and super gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a trauma movie.
October. I watched a trauma movie recently. It was called Death by Temptation, DEF. Really interesting history behind that movie, but it was like an all-black horror movie. It was a lot of fun.
I recently rewatched Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That's a dumb one.
That was very dumb.
Most of the trauma movies I've ever seen in my life have been the dumbest movies.
Well, Death by Temptation was only distributed by Trauma. It wasn't actually filmed by Trauma.
Oh,
but yeah,
so it's probably better.
It was actually quite good, and the soundtrack was badass. Anyway, well, all right. Well, let's. We only got a few minutes left. Let's hit that top 10. It's the last portion of our show. We give you the top 10 movies in America based on their box office earnings over the past week. This is how we track what is popular, what we're going to see more of, what we're going to see no more of. Creator are one of the things that it'll be in the top 10 this week, but with a pretty abysmal quote unquote from Disney. Not very happy with how the science fiction movie earned, but we will see when we get to it. But number 10, beating Expendables.
Yeah, actually, I want to point out number 12, dropping finally out of the top 10, is Barbie.
And it's 12th week.
12th week, number 12. So Barbie's finally out of the top 10. But in the top 10, and something that's very cool to see, which I think I made mention of to people. I can't remember if I did, because I know I meant to. Hocus Pocus 30th anniversary.
Back in theaters.
$1.6 million. So even though you can watch it or its very not good sequel on Disney Plus,
the theatrical experience is still viable.
The theater. So you can see Binks on screen. You can see Billy on the big screen. You can see the voice of Peggy Hill on the big screen. Yeah, it's out there. That's super rad that it hit the top 10. People went out to see Hocus Pocus. Very cool. And then coming in at number 9, hanging in the top 10 and it's 6 weeks out, The Equalizer 3. 1.8 million brought in by it. Its domestic take so far is at 88.8. That movie is a lot of fun.
I still need to see it.
Yeah, you need to see it. Recommend it. It's just Denzel Washington being a fucking ninja, and it's
which
so
I'm
cool.
down for.
Yeah, it's badass. And then number 8, Dumb Money. 4 weeks out. Only it's like second wide release week. Because you talked about it last week.
I did. I kind of enjoyed it.
Just over $2 million brought in by it. Its domestic take so far 10.6.
And not doing too great.
Yeah, they're not super stoked about that. And then in its 5th week out, staying in the top 10 but dropping 3 spots, The Nun 2, 2.6 million brought in by it. Its domestic take so far is up to $81 million.
Made plenty of money.
Tons for a horror movie like that, especially a property that they know is just a money printer.
Oh yeah.
And then coming in just above it, Hanging Tight at the number 6 spot in its 4th week out, also from Disney. Haunting in Venice, 2.7 million brought in this past week, bringing it up to 35.6. Not great in 4 weeks, especially for a big movie like that with big stars, like it has. But as we kind of touched on, I think it had something that Disney is constantly guilty of, which is poor fucking advertising.
Oh yeah. Just not great.
Disney, for some reason, cannot figure out advertising.
Unless it's like a Star Wars or a Marvel.
They can't figure out advertising for that either. They just buy properties that sell themselves, because you don't need to advertise Star Wars. And in fact, the Star Wars that they advertise, like Solo or the new trilogy, fucking shit on ice, man. You know, they're awful. But all the ones that they don't advertise, you know, things like Mandalorian sneak in there and become like the biggest thing in the world, and then they're like, oh yeah, we were there the whole time, you know, or like I guess Ahsoka's doing pretty good, whatever, things like that. And then, you know, because Mandalorian came out, and then Boba Fett, they advertised the hell out of it. And I was like, I don't like Boba Fett so much. And then Ahsoka, they're like, well, here's this. So yeah, the Star Wars they don't advertise. So for some reason, Disney cannot figure out advertising. This has been decades long. because John Carter of Mars is badass, and they tanked that movie by
their own hand,
giving any budget to advertising. And then just above that, sticking at number 5, The Blind, a movie that people we know worked on.
Yep.
Which I talked to one of our friends last night about that, and got to hear some fun stories there. Second week out, brought to you by Fathom Events. $3.2 million. So 10.5 is its take so far. I imagine that's already putting that movie in the black a little bit.
Yeah. For sure.
It couldn't have cost that much to make, honestly. And I'm surprised to see that this is only its second. Is this its second official week? Because I'm pretty sure it got a preview, right?
You're talking about the number 4 movie?
No, The Blind.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a Fathom release, so yeah.
But then the number 4 movie, dropping from number 3, also a Disney film, and its second week out, $6.2 million brought in by the creator. So far, it's only brought in $25 million. It looks like it had a budget of 10 times that.
I was going to try and look that up really quick. It did do pretty well in the foreign market.
Yeah, it looks like worldwide it's made just shy of $62 million, but in 2 weeks for a big budget Disney movie,
$80 million was the budget on that one. Yeah,
wow.
That's what it says. Yeah.
Okay. Well, still a long ways off.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that one goes. That might be like a streaming success.
I think so,
or something like that. And then number 3, Saw 10. In its second week out, $7.8 million. It's brought in $32.25 million.
All the money.
Yeah, big money for Saw. This one's gotten the best critic ratings out of all of them. So it's not doing too bad for itself. Yeah, we just looked at $13 million was its budget. It's made so much money compared to what they spent to do it. But Saw movies, they're like, all right, we're gonna rent this building for a week.
Bloody it up.
Yeah, we're just gonna shoot this movie and go. Yeah,
and another one.
Yeah. Also in its second week, a lot of second week movies here. Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie, brought in $11.3 million. Its take so far is around $38.5 million. Not doing too bad. Worldwide, it has brought in $86.7 million.
Who would have thought that the Paw Patrol was a global phenomenon?
I've actually seen Paw Patrol talked more about online than I have any other movie in the top 10 right now.
Ridiculous.
Yep. And then opening at number 1, The Exorcist Believer, bringing in $26.5 million, which is why things like The Nun started to drop down and like that. But you got your horror movie for October. There it is. How many Exorcist movies have there been?
Several.
Official,
but there's only a few that matter.
Yeah.
Dina on Twitch was just talking about how horror films are always going to do great in their first weekend, and then they start to drop off 50 to 70% after. The Exorcist, I think, is probably, like she said, is probably going to tank even worse this weekend with the Taylor Swift movie. And then, you've got Killers of the Flower Moon coming out later this month, and then Five Nights at Freddy's coming out on Halloween. So The Exorcist's got to get its money while it can because, T Swift's going to sweep it out of the way.
Where's the crossover for that audience, though?
Jump scares.
Like, people are scared to death of Taylor Swift?
No, the same people that love Taylor Swift are also ones that go, take me to a scary movie, I'm scared. Yeah.
I see. I thought maybe like Taylor Swift launched out of the floor like Rey Mysterio. You know, like Rey Mysterio's entrance, and everyone's like, oh my God.
No, they like being scared.
I see.
So anyway, well, that's your box office roundup for this weekend, the weekend of October 6th through 8th, 2023, and that is our show. We're going to get out of here. We'll be back next week talking to you about some stuff. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Find us on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Or if you want to just get the audio version of this podcast, you can find us wherever you get podcasts. Just search for the Drive-In Speaker Box Podcast, and should pull it up for you. So there you go. Jake, any parting words there, buddy?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go. We'll see you next week.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.